This is my first time recording myself doing ASMR. I'm not doing the whole thing right there, that is so annoying. But this is my second time kind of recording a little bit of it. First time the mic was a little too low and you could hear me breathing on the mic. That is very weird. I've never really recorded myself editing my photos. I have no clue how long this video is going to be. I hope that we can make a good photo in the end. I think we can. So, yeah. So this target or object in specific is, it can go by a few different names. I'm going to be referring to it as the Lobster, like a lobster claw, lobster claw nebula. I believe this nebula right here is what is typically designated as LBN 537, which LBN is a catalog of different objects in the night sky, and they're cataloged with different numbers, kind of like as names. You can think of it. LBN stands for, I want to say, Lens Bright Nebula, or Lens Catalog of Bright Nebula. So, this one right here is quite bright, actually. This is definitely the brightest point in the whole image, you can see. This one right here is 537 in LBN catalog. And then I want to say this one over here is LBN 540. I might be wrong, you might want to double check that. 540. But this overall structure is known as the Lobster Claw Nebula, and it is very pretty. I think so far I've acquired about, I want to say, 2 nights worth of data over it. And when I say 2 nights, I don't mean like 2 full nights. I have captured this over 2 full nights. No, I mean I've captured this over 2 nights. I want to say in time there's about 4 to 3 hours of total data in it. I remember last time I did this, I tried to focus a lot of time on the sulfur wavelength. Well, I guess, hold on, before I do that, let me describe how I captured it. I captured these photos with my monochrome astrophotography camera using a process called narrow band imaging. Essentially, narrow band imaging is when a filter is put in front of the camera that blocks all light except one very specific wavelength. And there are a few different types of narrowband imaging. You can definitely use it for planet astrophotography. I know CH4, which I believe is methane. I know there's a methane filter out there, but it's not very useful for deep objects in space. Also, well, deep space objects, DSOs. Deep sky objects, my bad. But same thing, you know. The most typical wavelengths that you will see with DSOs are hydrogen alpha, oxygen, I might be wrong, oxygen, I'm just gonna call it oxygen 3 because I really don't care. I call it oi, because that's how you like write it out. I think it's kind of fun. So O with 3 eyes, that might, let me check, I might actually be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that means it's been like, hold on. So, oi with 3 eyes means doubly ionized oxygen, which I am recording this on the 4th of July, so you will be hearing fireworks. So, girl. So extra, so annoying. No one cares, honestly. Dude, really? Okay, anyways, yes, doubly ionized, and I know HA is hydrogen alpha, and C must just be ionized sulfur. Dude, see, astrophotography. Sorry, I'm looking this up. I mean, I feel like I've known what it meant before, but I've kind of forgot. Yeah, I just know it is their sulfur emissions. Going back to what narrowband is, so essentially these ionized gases, hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur, will all emit light on a very specific wavelength. I am not going to try to give you what the wavelengths are exactly, which I could look them up. I know, I want to say hydrogen alpha is 656 nanometers, and then I want to say C, sulfur, is definitely, C is like 606 maybe. I really could be wrong, honestly. You know what? I will check, because, yeah. Okay, C is, oh, sorry, my bad. C is 672 nanometers. And I do know that hydrogen alpha is 656 nanometers. I mean, that's where it is, yeah, that's what it emits. That's the light it emits. And I want to say it's definitely a lot lower. Yeah, 495. Well, 496 more like it, because you round up, but 495.9 nanometers is its emission line. Oh my god. But yeah, so during my last night, I tried to focus more on the sulfur emissions, because they are typically more faint compared to the other two in numerous different DSOs, but they can also reveal a lot of detail in them. Hydrogen alpha is typically, well, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, so it makes sense that hydrogen alpha gas is the most abundant gases within, like, DSOs and everywhere else, because it is the most abundant element in the universe. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I think so. And then I don't really know how abundant oxygen is, but it is in a lot of other DSOs as well. This specific target is near, it's not super close to, but it is pretty close to large nebulas, such as the Pelican Nebula, as well as the North America Nebula, not to be confused with the North American Nebula. The North America Nebula is named that because it looks like the continent of North America. Anyways, so after I got all this data, I did a process called stacking. Well, within PixInsight, it is actually called weighted batch pre-processing, which essentially takes all the images and averages all the frames together to create an image that has a lot less noise. That is the most basic way that I can explain what that is. Yeah. 1 second. Okay. So, after doing all that, you get these images. Now, that is a little, maybe, I don't want to be super misleading, but this is not what they look like in real life. What I mean by that is, these images have all been stretched, which basically means I have lowered, or I don't know how to best explain it, but you put it through processing that breaks out the very faintest details that are typically obscure and within the plaques of the image. But through modern technology, you can stretch images and stuff. Yeah, that's so cool, isn't it? So this is what the images look like at a linear view, which essentially means this is what it would look like if you took it with just a camera. Now, I should mention, all these frames, I took them at 360 seconds per exposure, which is 6 minutes per exposure. So and even then, this is what that looks like. You can see all the stars. But once you stretch them, this is an auto stretch function, you can bring out all the faintest little gas parts, gas structures, whatever you want to call it, filaments, filaments, and now I guess maybe not filaments in this specific one, but you can break them out. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this. I'm not the best at explaining it. This is also my first time doing this, and you know what? I don't know how people do this because my mouth is getting so dry. Like, dude. Okay, so let's get started. So first what I'm going to do is I am going to tile windows so that these are all here, and I've already named each view. Well, this is called view, but within Pixite these are called views, but I've named each image respectively to what element they are. This needs to be Oi with 3 eyes, and sorry if I misspell or misclick anything. I'm a little far from my computer and I'm doing this on a laptop, so it's kind of hard. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do first is, I believe I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it, but what you would normally do during this stage, you would make all these images stretched by clicking this button up here, the little nuclear symbol up here, and then I'm going to go to processes, and then you click black background, and then background modelization, and then dynamic background extraction, which basically, I'll explain it, it basically analyzes the whole image and creates a map of a gradient, if that makes sense, to subtract from the image to make the background as flat as possible. This is great for areas with light pollution. I live in a Portal 7 area, which is, I want to say it's like the suburban transition to urban, but narrowband imaging is very good for that because it can cut right through light pollution like a knife. Anyways, since I've already done background modelization on all these images, I am going to skip that. So I am immediately going to go to channel management, channel combination, and I am going to set the red channel to C, or sulfur. I'm going to just set the green to hydrogen alpha, and I'm going to set the blue channel to oxygen. This palette is referred to commonly in astrophotography as the Hubble palette. It is an extremely inaccurate way to display the colors of the night skies and the nebulae, my bad, because that is not what they look like. Hydrogen alpha and sulfur are near infrared with their emissions, so they're very similar to each other, and oxygen, though, I guess, is kind of the lowest nanometer wavelength we are dealing with, so that makes sense to give it blue, I guess. But this palette was popularized by the Hubble telescope. It was a great way to display space pictures and like astrophotography to the public because it added a lot of beauty to the images, and I guess you're about to see why. Okay, so now that we have this color space RGB, because that's what I'm working in, yeah, and I'm gonna click this little circle icon. Sometimes I forget which one to click, so it automatically took all 3 of these images and combined it into one image, so it's no longer monochrome, it is going to be RGB. I'm going to go ahead and put these all off to the side because we do not need them anymore. Okay, then I'm going to double click that to get a full view. Now, again, this is in its linear state, the photo, so to see what data we're working with, we're going to click this, and it doesn't look very pretty because we got to color calibrate the image first. And to color calibrate, we're going to go to process, color calibration, and typically I will try to use spectrophotometric color calibration, which is more accurate than photometric color calibration, but on the computer that I typically use, it does not have good access to the files I need to download off the internet because they are large files. But I will try it on here. I haven't used it in a while, so let's see. And before I say anything, before I do anything else, color calibration must be done on linear images. You cannot stretch it, then do color calibration calibration. Right now, this is just called a display stretch, meaning we are seeing it stretched, but it is not. The file has actually not been altered yet. It is still in its linear state, but we are seeing it as stretched, so that is okay. And I'm just going to drag this little corner to activate the process onto this image, and it'll take a second. And I do not have the files installed. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't have the files installed, and I would have to change this. I just realized I don't want to do that, so I am going to go to photometric color calibration because it's a little easier. Oh, my bad. Where is it? There it is. I can't see it so well, but it should have the astrometric solution within the image, so hopefully it is able to do that. And as you can see, it is downloading the data from a server, and we just let it do its thing. Fitting 1233 stars. So what it's doing now is taking all the stars from each of the RGB channels and fitting them, and then calibrating the colors based off of that. And it kind of gives us a graph to show us what it just did. Each one of these dots, I believe, represents a star. And then it aligns them all with how they should be and how they're observed. So now we have a much more accurate looking photo. Well, not necessarily accurate, but better looking photo. It still has the display stretched on it, so we're going to remove the display stretch, and then we're going to re-stretch it. And then look at that. Isn't that so gorgeous already? That is so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and minus that. Just keep it there just in case. And now we're going to do a process that will take a minute. It usually takes 5 minutes to run. And I'm going to use this add-on. It is paid, unfortunately, but it's called Star Exterminator. Now, what this does is it takes all the stars out of the image and removes them, so you are only left with the nebulosity and the gaseous structures in the image. I have it set, these settings generate a star image, so after you take it out, the star, it's going to create its own image of just the stars. And you do this because you can individually edit each image, which works a lot better for bringing out the details of the nebula without making the stars look super bloated or super odd. So I'm going to drag this and drop it down. Now, it is going to start to run, and it says it uses AI to do it, but it's not like generative AI. The AI within this type of stuff is discriminative, I believe. So that basically means, well, I don't even know what that means. I mean, I just know it's not generating data that's not there. It's doing the opposite, I believe. So in a sense, you might be losing. No, that's not right. I'm not right. I don't know. I just know it's not like I'm plugging this into ChatGPT and asking it to do it for me. That's not at all. It's analyzing the brightest points and sources of light and removing them to be left with the nebulosity, which does not alter the data that I have collected of the night sky. Now, it is already at 10%, which is nice, but till then, we're going to do some tapping ASMR because I don't know what else to do. Tell me how you like this. I'd love to do some more of these videos. I want to collect more data on this specific target. So yeah. That kind of hurts. I'm not gonna do that. I got this perfume from Target. It says Mix Bar, and it's honey milk hair and body mist. It's not a perfume. Why did I say that? It's more of a body. Yeah, it's a body mist. It smells really good. I really like how it smells. It doesn't last long, but I always spray it on myself before I go to bed because I like to smell good. Who doesn't like to smell good? It smells so good. That was really loud. I'm so sorry. It's at 25%. Wow, this is gonna take this. This is my camera cap cover. It's very, like, it is a very interesting item because, like, do you see? I'm sorry about the camera of me. I'm using a 77. No, that's not right. I think it's like an 85 focal length lens, and and it's like really close to me, but like I don't really have like a better option, because yeah, to wear it but the camera, but you know, I don't really care, because yeah. I love chewing on things. Not really, but like okay, I'm gonna do another spray thing. This is a screen cleaner I got from Amazon. The bottle is huge, that's why I got it. It was like $15, but it's 6.7 fluid ounce. It doesn't really work that well, I'm gonna be honest, but it gets the job done. I would only ever spray it on a screen, never, ever, ever, ever use it on glass elements on a lens, like a lens cleaner. That will ruin the coating on your lens. So I'm only saying that because I thought of doing that. So I'll spray a little, but I don't want it to get all wet over here. Oh, whoosh. That's kind of cool. Oh, everything's covered. Well, it's only at 55%. I'm going to get on my phone now and tap 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 tap. I'm actually gonna check Instagram. What do you guys think about Tokyo Toni? She's kind of funny, but like, I don't know. I kind of love her, yeah. Oh my god, it's the watermelon lady. Do you guys remember her? You know, they get so sweet. My red and yellow meat. Oh yeah, so go. I forgot. Watermelon song lyrics. Okay, that is not the right song. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh my god, it's by Pinky Bob. They love my watermelon, because you know they just so sweet. Red and yellow meat, my prices can't be beat. They're the best in the land, one bite you'll understand. Trust me, I ain't playing. One taste and you'll be saying, You love my watermelon. Exactly. Wait, I want to sing it again. That was so fun. They love my watermelon. You know, because you know they just so sweet. Red and yellow meat. My prices just can't be beat. Wait, my prices can't be beat. They're the best in the land. One bite you'll understand. Trust me, I ain't playing. One taste and you'll be saying, You love my watermelon. I love her. Yeah. 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 I haven't gone swimming since I was like 13 or something. I'm like 19 now for context, but yeah, that's kind of crazy. Should I say my age on the internet? I don't know. It's public information. I really don't care. You could look my name up on a government database and it won't say 19. Like, okay. What are you gonna do with that information? I don't know. I don't care really. Queen out. Almost done. Okay. This is like, obviously honestly a really bad, like, it's a really good product. It's Laneige lip stuff. I used to use it. I need to use it more because look at my lips, they're kind of cracked. But it's like also not my fault because it's like summer and it's like really dry. Well, it's actually really humid, so maybe I should. Hold on, it is my fault. I was gonna say, I just know that. I just remember that when I would use it, like every night before I went to bed, and keep it on while I sleep, it would always make my lips super smooth. So maybe I gotta keep doing that again. Yeah. Oh, I dropped something. Hold on. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, it's done now. So, like I was saying earlier, it essentially divided the frame, the photo, into a star version and a nebulous version. What nebula version? Oh, shut up. Okay. But yeah, look how pretty that is. Oh my god, that is so pretty. Okay. And by the way, when I say that I want more data, if you get more data on the object, I will be able to resolve finer details, because you can see this gas structure right here. When you get more data, it will make it less blurry and less noisy. Yeah. Okay. I kind of wonder if this is a part reflection nebula, because within the star version, it's right here, and it's like, wait, is it right there? I think so. I think it would be right there, because like there's a star in the middle of it, and it's very bright, and it's not bright. It's not that bright anywhere else in the image, but it's also, it's bright green, and we know that the green is linked to hydrogen alpha, so it wouldn't be a reflection nebula now that I think about it, because that's the emissions line. So yeah, I guess it's just very, very emissive there with hydrogen alpha. I don't know. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to process, and I'm going to go down to intensity transformation. I'm going to go to, actually wait, before I do that, I need to stretch it, like permanently stretch it. So I'm going to go to, where is it, screen transfer function, as well as histogram transformation. Okay, here we go. So what I'm about to do, so when I click these buttons, this removes the display stretch. Like I said earlier, the screen stretch, this button does not make a permanent change to the photo. This is just like for us to see, like display, like it's like, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm essentially going to apply that to the photo by clicking the little nuclear stretch icon. When you click that, it sets it, and then I'm going to take this little triangle thing, drag it over here, and then now that it's loaded in the histogram, I'm going to take this and drop this onto the file. This permanently stretches it, and it's white because it still has that display stretch on it. So we're going to remove the display stretch, and boom, it's no longer completely dark. It is permanently, well, not permanently because you can undo it, but it is stretched now. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go to intensity transformations, curves transformations. This will allow us to edit the photo to bring out the red, the green, the blue, as well as change the gray point and the lightness, as well as the saturation of the photo. Before I do that, I have to click this little donut or circle icon to go into live view mode so I can actively see what I am doing. First off, I am noticing that the reds could be brought out a little bit more. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it up, and you can see that automatically brings the reds out. So then but you can also see that it's like making the background super red too. So I'm going to lower the sense that it doesn't have a tint, because if I take too much red out, it will have a blue and green tint. But if there's too much red in, it will have a red tint. So you want to make it look as neutral as possible. But see, look, that brought a lot out on these structures around here. The red and the orange is beautiful. So I also like to bring the blues out a little bit more, because there's some blue, some oxygen going on over here that I'd love to see more. And again, I gotta make sure the background doesn't look crazy. That looks already so good. Before I do anything else, I'm going to adjust. I think this is the gray point or the black point, the gray channel or something. I don't know. I forgot kinda, but I'm going to adjust that. It essentially will lighten the image. That looks a little too fake for my taste, so I'm going to lower that down a little bit more. And one good thing to remember is we don't want our image to actually have like a black background. We want there to be contrast, but we also want it to be looking good, you know? Hold on. I like that. Oops. Hold on. I'm gonna adjust the green, because may as well. Yeah. A lot of green going on. Dude, that looks really bad. The green is very overpowering because, again, hydrogen alpha is like the most common gas or whatever. No, hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, therefore there's always going to be a lot of hydrogen in these nebulas. Most of the time. What is going on here? Holy shit. Okay. Oh, that looks really... Whoa, that looks so good. Okay, we're gonna have to bring the red out. Before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and apply this so that I can make better changes. Then I'm going to click this button that resets each setting. So now I'm gonna adjust the blue. Yeah, that looks alright. I can always adjust it later. Let's bring those reds out. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that, girl. I'm trying to find a way. I don't want it to look. Okay, there we go. A lot of this is just like trial and error, just adjusting it to see how you like it. Ooh, I don't like that. That's kind of cool, but not the vibe. One target. I would really love to photograph some of the planetary nebulae out there. I think they'd be so pretty, like the Cat's Eye Nebula, as well as the annular. Is it annular? The Ring Nebula. They're very pretty, but they're very small. So there's this property in astrophotography called scene conditions. And scene conditions essentially refer to how turbulent the atmosphere is. With more turbulences, with the atmosphere being more turbulent, it kind of distorts and warps light that comes through the atmosphere. So with smaller objects, their structures get a lot more distorted because they are so small. The fireworks. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. It looks good, but the brightnesses don't look right. Like, not the brightnesses, the way it's dark and light don't. What am I saying? The contrast doesn't look right to me. It looks a little messy. It's okay. We're just fixing it. I'm sorry if I'm mumbling or you don't really know what I'm saying, because I don't know what to say right now. Just kind of doing things, just gotta make the slight adjustments. Maybe adjust the lightness. It's a little different. What if I lens that held the secondary mirror down was broken. And what I mean was, when I was adjusting the secondary mirror, I wasn't aware that it was broken, and it just fell right down the about 40-inch tall tube and smashed right onto the primary mirror, shattering it. So I am still contacting the insurance policies about it to get it refunded or replaced. Hopefully refunded, because it is a very large telescope and it is very heavy to carry. It is about 60 pounds. So be careful with these things, because they really are scientific instruments. And although it wouldn't have broke if I wasn't adjusting it, you have to do a process with Newtonian telescopes called collimation, which is critical for achieving sharp stars, and it's essentially aligning the mirrors with each other. And it really was not my fault, so maybe if they could manufacture their things better, that'd be great. No shade, Skywatcher, full shade. Also, I called the customer service guy, and he was like, seriously, you were adjusting your telescope? Straight up, people do this all the time. That is on you, and we are not going to be covering that with our warranty. First off, who are you talking to? Like, your job is customer service. You need to do a better job at that, because trust, I work in places where I deal with customers and stuff like that, and it's like, it's not that hard to be a kind person. It really isn't. You just like be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry I heard about that, but unfortunately we cannot cover broken mirrors. Like, it's that easy. You don't have to be rude about it. And he was so shady. He was like, oh my god, everyone should know this, but it's like, when I ordered the telescope, it did not come with any manuals, so that is not my fault. So I don't care, because guess what? I have another one, and I think the quality of the mirror is very good. I think the quality of the telescope is very good, because I still have the smaller version of the 300. It is very good. Like, it is a good telescope, but it's like the manufacturer is kind of rude, you know? That is not defamation, because that is a real experience that I've had with them. So, okay. That was not necessary. Okay, I hate fireworks, because, like, why are they legal? Like, honestly, blow your hand off. I don't care. Like, don't be dumb. Like, come on now, guys. Yes, let's light bombs in the front yard and watch them. That is so fun, guys. Get a grip. 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 Wow, look at all that red. Oh, that's pretty. Bringing out the reds like that. But one thing about the reds is that, well, if you see here, this is like an artifact of the two different nights, because there's like two different frames going on here. Typically you can't get the rotation exactly without a rotator, and I don't want to spend $300 on a little adapter, not an adapter, like something you put in the imaging optical train to make it rotate. I don't care. I can set the camera that myself by rotating it in the focuser. It's easy to do. But maybe in the future, I don't know. What would be really cool is if I can make money. Oh my! See, that's like a fucking. They just put like they just blew up a fucking nuclear bomb in the front yard. Did you hear that? That was a nuclear bomb in their front yard. I had to breathe out. I'm so annoyed. Okay. I need to get more sulfur data for sure, because look at the reds. Look at the reds I could get, like, especially in this area. Very pretty, but it's just too noisy right now to stretch it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the blues down. Or am I don't know. I really like the blues. The blues make it look pretty, like, it makes it feel good. You know what I mean? Like, it makes it kind of feel cold, but also, girl, be so fucking, I need to bring my dogs in my room, because they're probably kind of scared right now. That's a little too much right there. I mean, because you can kind of pop it up, but I think that's a little much. can see that there's, like here for example, there's some oxygen right here that you can't see normally, as well as some over here. Also, these trails going through here are satellite trails or plane trails. They're most likely plane trails now that I think about that, because plane trails are a little harder to remove because they're a lot brighter than satellites within the exposures. Yeah. A lot of this is just going back and forth, finding the best part to do. I really like that where you have the blue right here and the blue right there. Let's bring that up. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. I think I need to bring it up a little bit more because there's some good oxygen data throughout the image. You just have to find the right place to bring it out of. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Hold on, I want to bring that up just a little bit more. Put it there, because I don't want this to become too blown out right there. Too blown out. Wow, so green. What if we reduce the green? Oh, that's kind of pretty, but it's not the vibe. Dude, that was literally a nuke. Like, what the hell? That was a gunshot. No, it wasn't, but it could be. There's a lot in my... Oh, my dog. Dude, that was too loud. My dog, I just heard him run up to the front door. I feel so bad for him. He's probably scared. I'm gonna get him after this video and bring him in here with me. My two dogs, but yeah. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's good. Okay. Lightness. That's pretty. That's too much. It looks too soft. Do I need to put it down? I don't think so. That looks really weird. Hold on. No, too dark. I want to maintain the contrast, but also make it look kind of... Make sure it looks good, you know? And it's kind of hard. It's a little difficult because I have to look at like all areas of the image when I make these adjustments to make sure that it is making the optimal adjustment for every part of the image instead of just one part. Because as you can see, this structure right here is a lot different than this structure, as well as this structure up here. So I want to make sure I capture the beauty of all of it within this editing process. Girl, what the fuck? Within this editing process. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's a little bit too much blue. It's being blown out. So. Okay, yeah. I think that's good. I'm gonna set it. I do not like that. I'm gonna take that away. And you can also adjust the saturation in this. Although I don't really want to because the saturation is pretty balanced as is. I can make it, I don't like that. Like if you make it too saturation-y, it kind of looks like fantasy, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't look right. And it makes the blacks look really bad, in my opinion, because it like makes them look like really weird and purple. Oh, that's bright. Hold on, let me put that there just to keep it so only. Well, I don't. Ooh, that looks really. Look at this structure. This looks really cool right here, and these like pieces and parts. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, guys. No, that looks weird. Okay. I'm gonna bring this one down to make it not so blown out. No, I'm not. That looks fine. What if I did that? Okay. There's the whistlers. There's too much red and blue in the blacks, I can tell. Because it's like making it look like kind of purple flash. We don't like that, so I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to first put these little dots here so that it stays still, kind of, when I adjust it. There we go, just drop it a little bit, doesn't need to be dropped too much. That looks really good. What if I up it just to see? Okay, it doesn't want to show. Okay, so I think that's going to be good for now. Then only minor adjustments will be made further on, but yeah, I think that's good. I'm gonna close the live view. There's our image. Wow, so pretty. Okay, we are far from done. So now I'm going to do a process called noise exterminator. Wow, this is the add-on is called noise exterminator. It essentially makes all the noise a little bit softer, and it uses AI, but it's not like ChatGPT AI. It's not like generative AI. It is very it doesn't introduce any new data. It takes the data you already have and optimizes it to make it, well, have less noise, and it's overall a good thing and a good thing to use. There's no reason not to use it. The AI in this part is not like ChatGPT AI, because that's like generative when you think about it. Wait, hold on. Okay, this is going to take a second, so I'm going to go get my dog because he is scared of fireworks. Yeah, and then I'm gonna cut out. Yeah, be right back. I don't know if I'll keep this part in the video, but I got my dogs. I got my dogs by my heavenly side. I forgot the lyrics, but I got a little snap. I got simply Cheeto Puffs. The white cheddar flavor. And they're honestly kind of good. But the best part about them is the serving size is about 32 pieces, and it's 160 calories per serving. That is crazy. Like 32 of these, 32 of the little Cheeto Puffs. Cheeto Puffs. Yeah. Ice is so good to munch on. Come on, dude, hurry up. It's 97%. And this is just a little bit of denoise. I set the setting to 0.3. So that's only like a little bit of denoising. I always put it on in 5 iterations because it's more accurate. But it takes a lot longer. But whatever. We're going to have to denoise it again after we do what we're going to do next, which is another process. How exciting. See, look, it's so much less noisy. It's so pretty. Okay. Now we're going to do something. Okay, now we're going to recombine the stars in this image. Before we do that, I'm going to rename the stars image to just stars because it will make it easier for me. And then I'm going to rename the nebula image to just neb. So now we're going to open a process called pixel math, which is essentially an expression thing inside this program. Well, where is it though? Pixel math. Okay, I believe the correct expression is squiggly line, parenthesis, squiggly line, starless, so neb, squiggly line, multiply, parenthesis, squiggly line, stars, parenthesis. This expression is the screen expression. I don't know how to explain it, but like when you have 2 images in Photoshop, you can set one of their blending modes to a screen. That is essentially what I'm doing, and I'm telling the program to layer them on top of each other. I believe that is the correct one, and then we can click this thing, the square, and it. Oh my god, I forgot to do that. But yeah, it did it. It's just not. Their stars are there, but they're not. I forgot to stretch the star image, which is my bad. So I'm going to undo that real quick. Before I do that, I need to find the star image. Where is it? Wait, chat, where is it? I don't know where it went. Oh, I know where it is. Oh, there it is. Come here. Okay. So we're gonna do this because we have to. It's so annoying. So basically, I have to take the stretch off, but when you do it like this, it decides to stretch it like that, and we do not want that, so we have to adjust it manually. So I can do that and adjust how the stars look. I don't want them to be too bright. Not that. If I go a little, like I'm trying to get it perfect. That's just they're too bloated there, but they're not. I think I like that. Hold on, let's zoom in. We can do a little bit of adjustments after this if it doesn't look right. I think that's good, so I'm going to drag that over there, drag that onto the image, and then take the screen function. I'm going to minimize that, and then I'm going to get out of this image real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and minimize it because I don't need that. I don't need it up on my screen anymore. Then I'm going to hit the pixel math button. There we go. There we go. Look at that. That is so freaking pretty, guys. That's so pretty. Although the stars are a little bloated, they're a little big, they're a little fat. Just kidding. Well, they are. I'm just joking. Okay, hold on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use another plugin, another process called Blur Exterminator. All these by RC Astro. These right here, these 3, these are all by RC Astro. It is a guy who develops his own. Well, I don't know if it's one single guy, but I think RC stands. It's like an initial for a guy. I don't know, but he made them, and I believe they're $60 per plugin. They're very good though. They're very good plugins. Blur Exterminator essentially is a form. It's comparative to deconvolution, which is a way of doing what it says, like unblurring the image. Now, again, this program does use AI, but it is not generated generative. It's not generative, so it's not like I'm asking ChatGPT to do this. This AI has been trained on real images of the night sky, but it is not putting anything into my data that is not already there. It is essentially adjusting. The best way I can think about it is like adjusting a contrast slider between detail and not detail. That's the best way I can describe it, and that doesn't, like, I don't know. I'm going to set the sharpen stars to 0.3, and I'm going to adjust the star halos to negative, or I guess minus 0.2, so that essentially will make the stars smaller and sharper. Now, I'm going to adjust this slider right here, which will bring out a lot of detail called sharpen non-stellar, which sharpens non-stellar, which means non-stars. I'm going to sharpen it by 0.6. If you do it more than 0.6, it kind of, in my opinion, it just doesn't look right. It kind of looks a little like edited-y. I don't know how to explain it. And then, yeah, it's ready to just drag over onto this, and it's going to look so good, guys. Are you ready? Let's see. Gotta wait another 5 minutes, though. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god, it looks so good, guys. Whoa. Look at that. That's so cool. We're nearing the end of we're nearing the end of it, so I'm gonna crop it as well as do some final edits. As you can see, it's still a little noisy. Look at that, very noisy. The stars look so sharp though. That is so great. Very blue. I'm gonna pull up curves just to see if I can make any. Oh wait, yeah, just to see if I can make any slight adjustments. Just very little ones that don't mess up the color balance too much. Oh my god, that is so pretty. Oh, look at that. Very pretty. Let's bring those blues out a little bit more. Wow, look at that. That's a little, I don't like the super bright. I don't like because the blues are already pretty good in the highlight areas. Let's see, okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's go here. Let's see, do we want to make, I don't think I really need to make any adjustments here. Oh, that's so pretty. Bringing the contrast out. But I mean, okay. I don't want to make the blacks look too black, you know. The green. The issue is green. Like, I don't like when it's over green, but the most detail is in the green channel because the hydrogen alpha is the most, you know, abundant. But yeah, so pretty. That's so pretty, guys. That is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that, and then I am going to set that. Let me check something. Oh, did not mean to do that. I'm gonna do this and zoom in on this region right here. Make sure it looks normal. Looks pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good. Close it. We're gonna close the real time because I am done with curves, I think, and I am going to do one more noise extermination, but this time I'm going to crank this up to about 60%, and the reason I did a mini version first was to do it and then run blur to get more details. Now I'm going to do this because using noise exterminator will make it have less details because you are in the end blurring the image by some degree to get rid of the noise. So but after this it will be done. Okay, it just got done doing the final denoise. I think it's pretty much done, so I'm going to go ahead and crop it Photoshop because I don't like the cropping in this application. So it looks a little off to me, so I'm just gonna look at it and see if there's anything I want to adjust to green. And there's some gas back there. Gases. Bring just a little bit of the blues out. Wow, look at that, that's so pretty. A little bit of the reds out. I think that's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and minus that, get rid of that. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so I'm going to do my last adjustments within Photoshop. So I don't think I'm gonna do anything. I might try Photoshop's noise reduction, but I really don't know if I will need to use it. So, and I always forget. Wait, what? I thought it was C Central. There we go. Okay, so it's just a lot easier to crop in Photoshop. Okay. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I don't really... You know what? We can... Okay, you know what? Hold on. Before I do anything, let me just really try something. Let's make it a smart object. Oh shit, I didn't make a smart object. I immediately went into camera raw. Okay, convert to smart object. Camera raw, and then I'm going to have to use masks, which is going to be a little bit of annoying. We're gonna rotate it just a little bit. That's actually not too bad right there. I mean, yeah, wait, hold on. Cropping it down. There's like also a weird red thing right here. I don't think that's part of it. I think that might be an artifact, but it kind of looks filamentary, so I don't know. I'll keep it.